Hello, this is Alessio. This is the weekly best performing charts report for the 7th of May. Let's start off with FLIR. So this chart is from May 3rd. On May 3rd, I was expecting a wave 5 of sub-minute degree to be completed anytime soon, which would have indeed completed, as you guys can see, a higher degree wave 3, and consequently have a pullback into some kind of wave 4. And as I said, this was May 3rd. Now, if we look at FLIR now, we can see how we did have an initial move down. Now, does that mean that that is actually the wave 4 completed right there? Well, we could go a little lower. That could be just A of the 4. Or it could be the wave 4 of this wave 2. It looks like it's most likely to be this wave 4. But in order to trade this to the long side, I would actually rather wait for confirmation, since we know that we have one missing leg of wave 5 of minuet degree of a higher degree wave 3. So definitely there should be more upside expected, so there's no need to rush the trade. If we move on to the next one, the next chart, which is interactive brokers, here it is. This chart is from, as you can see, April 29th. And at this stage, I was predicting wave 4, not completed yet, expecting either move down into the 70-ish dollar level to then resume to the upside until wave 5. Now, if we look at interactive brokers today, May 7th, you can see how we did have another move down, which found support around the $70 level. Now, does that mean that it's going to resume to the upside? Well, not necessarily. I mean, not right now. But I do see signs, and they're pretty clear and strong of further continuation. We also have the parallel channels you can see with wave 2 and 4, and usually we know that wave 4 does go a little beyond it, which is fine. So as long as, when wave 4 overshoot the the channel, that's when you have some kind of acceleration into wave 1 of 5. That's just what usually happens. So it doesn't necessarily have to happen, but it could. And it looks like if it's not completed now, it will be soon. But from my experience and what I can tell you from looking at the waves, it does look completed. So it does look like it could be resuming higher. Of course, if we do break this B wave, then usually what happens after B wave, you have a pullback. It's true that if you just break the B wave, you could have another double correction lower. And since it's wave 4, we could also expect a triangle, or if not a triangle, still a pretty complicated sideways movement. That's possible as well. However, for the time being, we shouldn't be thinking about that yet. We need to, as traders, we need to keep that in mind. We need to keep, the possibility open, but we need to trade what we see and not what we think we can see. So that was interactive brokers. If we move on to the next one, which is NFLX, this chart is from April 28th. You guys can see. So basically, at that time, I was expecting A, B, and then C. So further continuation to the downside to then complete higher degree wave 2. Now, because of this massive zone of support, I do not expect the C wave to go much lower than this area, because I think it's pretty clear that it's a very significant zone of support. So this was April 28th. If we look at NFLX today, we can see how we did have another move down. Now the question is this completed? Because usually we know that after we break a previous low, then we can see at least, if not a resumption of the overall bullish trend, you can see some kind of 3 waves pullback in that for continuation. As I said, the question is it over? That is a good question. I wouldn't be comfortable looking for longs as for now, because we are still in a premature trend, resumption of the trend. But eventually, if we do break this point, the B wave at around $563, then that's when we need to consider further upside. Moving on to NIO, and this chart is from April 29th. We can see how I was seeing a triangle move up in 1, which broke the previous wave D of the triangle, down in 2, and then possibly continuation into wave 3. Now, wave 2 did show itself, if that makes sense, and I can see an ABC. Actually, I'll bring you to the hourly time frame, so possibly it's more clear. Okay, great. So I think like this should be a little clearer. Down in A, up in B, and then down in C. It's actually, I noticed that many times after a triangle, the wave 2 will fall very closely to the previous wave E of the triangle. I guess that is just to kind of hunt stops. I'm not a huge fan of stop hunts, but I guess that could be the reason. So that's what could be happening. So now we expect for the upside. In the event I am completely wrong, which of course I can be, I'm human. We are all human, so we can all make mistakes. At least we should be prepared for it. This could still be a sideways consolidation, and we can see further downside. Now, if any of you enter here, they can still be in the trade. Eventually, you can just place your stop loss below wave E, slightly below wave E, so that that would be invalidation level. And yes, you would take a slight loss, but it would be reduced risk compared to the previous stop loss. Anyways, what I was saying is that we could see further downside. It's possible. At this stage, I still prefer the scenario with the wave 2, but as it is my job to warn you and present you other alternates. And now, last but not least, the snap. Once again, chart from April 29th. Very, very, very simple. Wave up in 1, down in 2. I was expecting further downside in 2. The reason was that I said that this, what you guys see here on the daily chart, on the hourly chart, looked like a triangle. And if not a triangle, still a consolidation into some kind of wave B. So I was expecting further downside into wave C of 2. Now, if you look at Snap today, you can see how it looks like I was correct. That was a wave B. Now in C, of course, this low has to hold. If it doesn't, that's when that's when I need to revise my account. Can I be wrong? Of course I can. What if I'm wrong? If I'm wrong, it will just make it a higher degree correction. So yeah, I would actually, if I'm wrong, if I'm wrong, then I still believe, because I'm looking at the previous, what's on the left, which you guys can see, but no worries, I did my homework, and it can still be a wave 4. As I said, and you guys should know it. Wave 4 can become quite complicated, which is actually, I think it's a good thing, because they make it easier for us to be identified. Because when we see something very messy, at least I can talk for myself, I always think of, oh, that could be wave 4. Yeah, that's a little, let's call it trick that I use. But yeah, anyways, that's a possibility. So that would be done in a directional wave B, which happens. Or wave B can either be kind of sideways or very directional, like this one, and wave 4. Is it possible? Yes. But as for now, I rather stick with this. Even though, no, actually, what I was saying is I look at the NASDAQ. I do see a possible, let's call it a short-term bearish scenario in the NASDAQ. I think it's pretty much what Pete says. I have the same view. But yeah, he also is supporting a, let's call it short-term bullish scenario. So if the NASDAQ will indeed show bullish further continuation, then why shouldn't we see a wave 3 of 5? So that was it for me today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to say. So, sorry, anything you'd like me to notice or any comment. Appreciate it. And thanks for your attention, and I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.